In a small town lost among the forests of Pennsylvania, there is a legend. This legend is about an abandoned coal mine hidden deep in the old-growth forest. It was said that in the 1920s, 20 workers disappeared there. The entrance to the mine was then blocked off to cover up this unexplained disappearance of the workers. Summer of 2004. 4 friends, Jake, 14, Liam, 13, Emily, 13, and her younger brother Nate, 10, were exploring the attic of an old abandoned house. There they found old maps that showed the coordinates of a mine. The 4 friends decided to test their courage and explore the mysterious mine. Taking flashlights and backpacks with provisions, they set off into the forest. After a long search, they found the mine. They found the entrance to it. It was covered with tree branches. After clearing the passage of debris, they entered the mine. After taking a couple of steps, they turned on their flashlights to look around. Rusty rails led off into blackness, and the dark opening smelled cold, like an open morgue. "Someone's been here recently," Liam whispered, noticing fresh footprints on the dusty floor. It was normal at first, just normal tunnels, collapsed beams. The deeper they went, the weirder it got. The lanterns behaved strangely. They worked intermittently. They were shining brightly, and then the light was fading to dimness. However, Jake had changed all the old batteries for new ones before he went into the forest. Shadows moved on their own as if someone invisible was walking beside them. Voices, a whisper that shouldn't have been there. "Do you hear that?" Nate shuddered. "It's just the wind," Jake said cheerfully. However, out of fear-self, clutched the lantern hard in his hands. They found an abandoned wagon. On it lay a notebook from 1923. Liam picked it up and read what was written in it. The last entry: "They're not people. They're whispering from the walls. We shouldn't have woken this up." With that, Liam tucked the notebook into his pocket. Suddenly, the streetlights went out. The darkness thickened, and then they saw it. There was a figure standing at the end of the tunnel. Tall, too thin, with unnaturally long arms. "Run!" Emily shouted. They rushed toward the exit, but the tunnels had changed. The walls were covered in strange symbols, and whispers came from every crevice. "They want us to stay," Nate sobbed. When they finally saw the light, it turned out to be no exit. It was a cave with dozens of helmeted skeletons. And in the center was it. The creature turned its head 180 degrees and whispered in the voices of all the missing. "You woke us up." They ran, but the walls of the tunnel were changing. New passages opened and old ones closed, as if the mine were alive. All 3 of them ran to the surface. Jake, Liam, and Emily got out of the mine without Nate. They had no memory of being on the surface. The last thing they saw were eyes in the darkness and skeletons reaching for them. The police didn't believe their story. They searched for the mine, but didn't find it. It was like it had been wiped off the face of the earth. The mine was gone. In its place was nothing but scorched earth. 3 days after the incident, Emily was awakened in the night by a knock on the wall. "Nate?" she whispered, even though she knew her brother couldn't be home. A whisper came from under the bed. "Emily, they're coming to get you." The voice was Nate's, but too hoarse, as if his throat was stuffed with earth. The next day, she disappeared. She didn't come down for breakfast in the morning. Emily's mother went into her room and found her daughter missing. 2 more days later, strange noises woke Liam up. He heard strange voices outside the window. As he approached the window, he realized it was they. They were the same shadows they had seen in the mine. The figures stood in the courtyard at night, too tall, too thin. They wouldn't move, just stare out his window. And then they'd disappear, leaving black footprints in the grass. He told Jake. "It won't end until we close the mine," Jake said. "How do you close something that isn't there anymore?" Liam answered him. They went back to the attic of the abandoned house. and found an old newspaper from 1923. There was an article called "Tragedy in the Mine, 20 Workers Missing, Strange Symbols Found on Mine Walls." Liam remembered the notebook from the mine. When he and Jake opened it, there were new entries. "They come at night. The whispers get louder. They want new bodies." Jake and Liam decided to go back. This time they thought they should arm themselves. Liam took a large kitchen knife from his parents' house, and Jake took an axe from his dad's garage. The boys headed into the woods and found the mine. The entrance to the mine was open again, like it was waiting for them. This time it was different inside. The carriages moved by themselves as if someone invisible was pushing them. Voices now sounded in their heads. "You have returned. Now you are ours." At the back of the tunnel they saw Nate and Emily, but it wasn't them anymore. Their eyes were black, their mouths stretched in an unnatural smile. "Join us," they whispered in one voice. And then the friends realized they had made a mistake when they returned to the mine. Liam couldn't stand it anymore, turned around and wanted to run for the exit. However, long black arms grabbed him and pulled him into the depths of the shaft. The darkness engulfed him. Jake started to swing the axe away, then sprang from his seat. He ran for the exit, but the mine wouldn't let him go. At the last moment, he saw a large glowing symbol on the mine wall, and with all his might, he hit the symbol with the axe. There was a bright flash. The mine collapsed. There are still children missing from this town. In the woods where the mine was, whispers can be heard from underground.